Good evening, everyone. I am Chaitanya Sachde. I am a mental health advocate. On behalf of teaMind, welcome to the second episode of our Instagram live series for the Self Care Awareness Month. Today's topic is self care for mental health. Joining us today is a counseling psychologist, Miss Pandita Rat Sharma. She specializes in relationship counseling, anxiety counseling, adolescence counseling, and is also a grief and trauma therapist. Hello to all of you who are joining in. She will join us shortly. If you have any questions for her, leave it in the comment section and we'll ask her. So, till she joins, I will discuss the topic for today. So, like I told you last time, we celebrate Self Care Awareness Month from the 24th of June to the 24th of July. 24th of June is celebrated as Self Care Awareness Day, and the whole month, 1 month, we celebrate self care. Self care is a very essential and integral part of our lives for our well being, for our physical, mental, emotional, all the aspects of well being. It's absolutely essential. Hello, psychologist Vaishnavi. Soul. Um, so, today we are going to stick to mental health, self care for mental health. Self care is basically basic activities that you do for your well being to unwind your day, to take care of your well being. We will discuss about why self care is important, why is it important for our mental health, what are some activities that we can do with the expert joining us. Hello, ma'am. I am just trying to accept your request. Um, I I don't think we can see you yet. People just give me a moment as ma'am joins us live. I think there is some glitch here. Ma'am, we can't see you. If you could rejoin, I will send you the request again. Yeah, I've sent you an invite. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, good evening. How are
Good
you?
evening. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
So, ma'am, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank you for bringing up something like this self-care. And I would like to introduce myself. I am a counseling psychologist, and I am working in this field of mental health since last 5 years, and I have expertise in the field. I like in my counseling techniques, I use techniques from CBT and DBT. I am a certified adolescence counselor and a marital relationship or couple counselor, and as well as I am I help people to navigate through their difficult times, people undergoing through several mental health issues, and to help people, particularly going through anxiety, because I am a certified anxiety counselor.
That's great to know, ma'am, about your work and your contribution to the field of mental health. Thank you so much for joining us today. Um, so we have a set of questions. So today we are going to discuss about mental health in context of self-care. So my very first basic question is that what is self-care and why is it important for our mental health?
So when we are like introducing self-care, so it's actually, we can say it's budge of internet these days. Self-care is not selfish, and so you can get a lot many things when it comes to self-care. But somewhere the real meaning of self-care is ignored, or like it has become a budge of online internet, but somewhere it is missing in our real life. Like, we though we post all those things over internet, but how much that we maintain in our own schedules matters a lot. And apart from that, self care is something like when we start caring about our body, mind and emotional well-being, that too in a mindful way. Like, we literally care about what my body needs, what my mind needs, and listening about my own like what my emotion wants now, what I should do now. So that is somewhat I would describe self care as. And
Absolutely,
in
ma'am.
mental health, if I am speaking, self care is something which goes hand in hand with each and every forms of treatment. It could be therapy, it could be medication, it could be like any forms of therapy, I mean. So whatever it would be, even if a person has certain mental health issues or doesn't have, in today's society we are moving in a very fast pace. So like, somewhere caring about ourselves doesn't need only having mental health issues, but apart from that also we can be careful about what my body, what my emotion and what my mind needs right now. So that is what I call as self care.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you said a very important thing that even if you don't have a mental health issue, you still need to practice self care for your overall well being. My next question is connected to this. How can you give how can one practice self care? So what are some examples of self care, and if somebody wants to know about the techniques of self care, what are some resources that they can use?
Yeah. So when we are talking about self-care, first of all, I would like to say it is very much subjective. Like, everyone has their subjective ways of feeling good about themselves, their mind as well as their body. But still, there are certain things which are helpful for each and every individual. For example, regular exercise, balanced diet, amount of sleep that is required for the body, and also like nurturing ourselves on the basis of emotional nurtures that we give to ourselves. So that is like everyone should follow. For example, some basic ways how we can take do practice self care in our daily schedules is like having at least 15 minutes to 30 minutes of workout every day. And workout means moving our body. It doesn't only mean going to a gym, wearing a gym wear, and so like you can feel you can get all those things over internet today, like people going and posting, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But what is required for your body, knowing that, like even a simple walking 10,000 steps every day is also a kind of physical workout. Everyone cannot go for stretching, lifting and all. So what we are doing as a form of self care, physical exercises, moving our body. And then second is certain breathing techniques. Like you will also agree with me that everyone in this society are under stress, working, not working, whosoever. So in order to reduce that stress that we face every day in our life, starting from sunrise to sunset. We face like a certain amount of stress within our daily life. In order to handle that, every day practicing certain breathing techniques, or like being mindful at a time, sitting quietly, just focusing on your dreams, just focusing on your breathing, just focusing on how your body is moving, how you are breathing in, how you are breathing out. That's it, is also a form of self care. There are other forms of self care, like where we do journaling, where we usually be thankful for what how our day went. Practicing self care by setting boundaries, which is very 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 important. So what happened, like when in our daily lives we keep on practicing certain things which goes against or which does not align with our core values, so in due course of time we do face like emotional burnout. Like, I don't want to give up anything more now. It could be in any relationship, it could be in any work. When we overdo certain things, when we feel guilt of without if I don't do anything, and also sometimes when I prioritize myself in a particular situation, it could be in work, it could be in personal setup. When I prioritize myself, if I feel guilty, so that is where we need to fix our boundaries. And our boundaries should be healthy, very importantly, because we should not use our boundaries for any kind of escape or excuse. So it should be healthy, it should not cause any emotional or mental damage to any other person in our environment, like with whom we are sharing our environment. And when I talk about boundaries, it is very helpful to as a part of self care, because sometimes we overdo our responsibilities, and that like causes emotional burnout. So having healthy boundaries are very important. Apart from that, as I told, regular exercise, healthy diet, and sometimes what we do is like we skip meals, or we don't have a particular time of having our breakfast, lunch and dinner. So like just by fixing our time and having something healthy in a particular time is also a form of self care. Sometime just bringing out little 5 minutes of time out of your busy schedule, sitting with yourself with your own thoughts, listening to music or any forms of hobbies, I say, and just enjoying a cup of coffee or tea is also self. So these are some practical things that we can do in our life and in our daily schedules. And even if we don't have time, we have to make time for it.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you for beautifully giving us all these examples of basic self care needs that we all need to do, including me, and we all need to learn. Thank you so much. My next question is that how
Yeah.
often should one person practice self care? So you mentioned one should take out at least 15 minutes, but people usually have this question that how much time should we practice self care?
See, when we are speaking about self care, it's not a luxury, it's a need.
Correct.
So, do we ask how often should I drink water? Then, but we drink water, right? Like it's necessary for our body. Our body wants certain amount of like nourishment, like certain amounts of hydration. So we drink water. Similarly, self care should be practiced every day, whenever my body needs, whenever my mind needs, whenever I need to sit with my emotion, I should sit. So it should be a daily thing. But there is a very thin line between being overburdened on yourself and making self care also a kind of a burden on yourself. Like I have seen in my time of practice, I have seen certain people who come and say like in my daily schedules, I have to go to office, I have to go to gym, I have to go for a walking, I have to go for a meditation, yoga, I have to, I should. So have to and should, this should not be used for self care. When it comes to self care, it should be mindful, it should be intentional. First of all, like intentionally I am making out certain time, I am taking a break. Everyone, whenever we are working, we take a break from our work. This is also a break from everything, like anything that is distressing us emotionally, physically, mentally. So I would give a recent example from my health issues. So 2 3 days back, like I felt like, okay, like somewhat like little weak, little. So I told, okay, like I should, it's high time now. In every 2 to 3 months, we should go for certain blood checkups, certain regular routine checkups, and if you have any other health issue, those checkups. So I just uh, like postponed certain of my appointments and everything, and I went for my own self care as a form of physical checkup. So this is also a form of self care. So can we ask that how often should we practice physical health care? So that's always that continuous, that intentional, and we should practice self care every day and not as a burden कि मुझे ये भी करना है, I have to do this. It's not have to do this. Like if I do that, then I'll feel better. Maybe I will focus better on what I am doing currently if I come back after 5 minutes break. So it should be that often.
Thank you so much. That was so nice. And generally, when people give their own example, it is very nicely understood by the audience. So, thank you for sharing your personal experience as well. You are right that self care is an intentional practice that you do with your own choice. The way we take bath to feel fresh, the way we eat our meals, similarly little bit of self care, little time for ourselves rejuvenates us at the end of the day. So, my next question is that if one wants to start doing self care, if they haven't or they haven't understood it as a concept earlier, how do they start a self care routine?
So, when we are talking about starting a self care, it should be very simple, it should be realistic, it should be achievable. Otherwise, just now I told that it will again feel like a burden. Okay, I have
Correct.
to make 1,000 steps every day now. So along with sending an email, this is also something which is added to your to-do list or Google list. So it should not be that. So when if I'm something new, if I'm trying something new, so first of all, every day I should spend at least 10 minutes of time just breathing and just trying certain grounding technique where I am not thinking about anything past or anything future, just present and me, what I am doing now, what I am doing today, and where I am now, what I need today and at that moment. So that is called some of the grounding techniques, like 5 4 3 2 1 technique,
Correct.
breathing technique like box breathing. So these are certain techniques that we can start with, because it takes hardly 3 to 4 minutes if I start using these techniques. And with this technique we can spend at least 10 to 15 minutes. And the next step is like starting to journal every day. That's one of the most beautiful thing that I have tried in my life. So before telling all the individuals that I deal with, so before that I have started trying it on myself, that really how it brings about a change. So I have started practicing it like 2 years back, and I started journaling. Like just one fine day before I start, I was introduced to journaling and everything. I didn't try it on myself, but later on, after 2 to 3 months, after giving certain people certain advices and everything, I started doing that first. So in 3 to 4 months, so you will notice the change that is very gradual. You have to that much, you have to be that much self-aware when you want to see or notice that change in you. So I started journaling like just randomly every day night, being thankful for two things. So I saw that after 2 to 3 months, my whole perspective about seeing a day, it changed. I didn't focus on. I waited for auto for 15 minutes. I stood there. I was waiting in the waiting hall for this much time. I skipped one of my meal, but rather my focus was that today night at in my journal, what should I write? So this is also a good thing. So that is also a good thing. So I thought when I was focusing on two things, it the list went on till five things. So that is how our perception to see the world around us changes when we start journaling. So that is one of the best technique that we can start with. Breathing technique, simple exercises like stretching, getting up early. Getting up early, we get a lot of time for our self care, and doing journaling at the day end. And if I am working, I am not working, I am being at home, then also a little 2 3 minutes of solitude time. When I'm just being myself, I am doing something that I love for 5 minutes. So these are like five simple steps with which I can start. Later on, there are many more guides that we can see over internet. There are many apps. There are many we can say podcasts. There are many things over internet that we can explore and see how that self care matches us. And apart from that, we can include in some of our hobbies which are lost now. Like we are grown up now, we don't pay attention to music. If I know playing guitar, then I don't like now getting that guitar at least and holding it for 5 minutes also give you that feeling. So that nostalgic feeling or something. So that is also a form of self care. So we can start with these simple things by cutting it down into 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So hope this is fine.
Absolutely. Yes, and you reminded me of a video I saw recently where they were talking about that people say that I want to get absolutely all right in 5 sessions of therapy, whereas the trauma is for many, many years. Similarly, I think it's related to self care as well. 1, 2, 3 days of practice won't show that difference, but over a period of time, like you said, you practiced it for 2 years and you saw a difference. So how people go to gym and you can't expect to get fit and get that shape of body within going for few sessions of gym cannot do that. So it's all a matter of practice.
Yeah, and also like self-awareness is also a must thing in order to notice the changes that we are getting out of self-care. Like self-aware, like I have seen 2 to 3 people who come and say, I have no change after doing so and so things. So then I had to bring them into a track of self-awareness. Were you doing this previously? You were getting irritated with every bits and pieces. Are you getting that irritated now? No, that has reduced. So counting each and every change that occurs in within us, so that is also very important. We do ignore a lot of things, like previously I wasn't able to do this, now I am able to do this. That we can know only if we are self aware, and if we focus on certain things. Okay, this is some of my things that I need to achieve. This is some of my things which are already achieved. So I have to know about all my strengths and weaknesses in order to see the change within me.
That's wonderful to know, mom. Um, Another question, like you gave examples from your practice. Can self care replace professional help, or can self care prevent any mental health illnesses?
Uh, no, I don't think so. But rather, self-care is a form of complement with any forms of like therapy, medication, any other forms of therapy like that we are taking. It is a kind of a complement to that. Like in order to see a good result, See, when we are talking about self care, it is about taking care of your physical body, mental body, and also your emotional needs. So if a person is getting treated for a specific thing, let us take it as depression. So suppose if an individual, ex individual, is being treated for depression, and in that place self care is not any form of diagnosis, it's not a therapy, it's not, nothing, but it's complementary to any form of therapeutic thing that a person is taking. Suppose a person is suffering from depression, what self care teaches that person is like being purposeful in their life, scheduling their day, starting their day early, going for certain amount of physical exercises, engaging in certain hobbies, socializing, spending some time in something that they love, like any hobby activities or creative activities. So these are something, if these are introduced to a person, this cannot uh, like um, in this, if these things are being done by a person each and every day, then they accept the other forms of therapy in a very good way, like their mind, body, and like emotional needs are aligned now, and they can receive whatever like the therapist is saying, they can receive well, like whatever the doctor medications are being given, the body can accept it well. So it's kind of complementary thing when the person is going through certain emotional imbalances, dysregulation, or any mental health issue.
So we can say that self care is a therapeutic process, but it's not therapy.
Yeah, very well said.
Okay. Um, Next question is that how, okay, you already answered it. How can I maintain a self-care routine when I'm busy? So you already answered it, so I won't repeat it. What are some self-care strategies for managing stress specifically? Because you already mentioned that any person working or not working does experience stress. So can you put some emphasis on the grounding techniques and additional techniques for stress management?
Yeah. So, stress is something like it's there in everyone's bag these days. So, when we are trying to manage stress, first of all, the first thing we have to see what are the things which are not working for us, like the unhealthy behavior or the unhealthy action that we do within the entire day. So, in form of self-care, before starting to do a self-care, we should be aware what are the areas in my life are creating problem for me. For example, suppose a person is like having a very hectic schedule. So even if that is not affecting us, the way he manages those schedules affect that person. Everyone is busy, but there will be certain people who have habit of late night dinner, like having dinner at night 12 o'clock, scrolling down the phone till night 1 o'clock, and having extreme amount of sugar as a form of self care. I need that, my body is needing now something cold, something sweet, so I am having that, and just laying down and being in their comfort zone for a longer period of time, avoid skipping meals, skipping healthy meals, not moving their body. So in our entire daily schedule, we have to be aware ki what is affecting my health. So if I know those behavior, list down those behavior, then I will plan a self-care routine according to it. Apart from that is first step of like planning self-care for those who are under stress. Then the second thing is for stress, we have to understand what is the source of my stress. If it is work, it is personal, or it is like something which is inner, like anything that is going on within me. uh, Identifying the triggers. Then the third thing is for stress, one of the most effective technique is like breathing technique. Every day spending time at least 10 to 15 minutes just stretching your body and breathing, trying different kinds of breathing techniques. As I told some time before, that there is a box breathing technique, there is a guided meditation technique called as spiral guided meditation, like when where we ask the person to close their eyes, and that spiral staircase is getting inside or within them. They will visualize or they will imagine themselves getting down in that stairs and knowing themselves better. So it's a long process. So there are certain like ways to conduct this spiral staircase thing. But if we teach the person, or if the therapist teaches a person, then they can practice that. Just breathing technique of white light and green light, like breathing in white light and breathing out red light. So that is a very good technique that everyone can try it for 10 minutes every day. Like when where we close our eyes, and like we dedicate some action to our mind that we have to breathe in white light and we have to breathe out red light through our mouth, so we feel little relaxed. And also sometimes, like if at all it is a work environment and I am getting little stressed out, just getting up from the place, stretching yourself, going and talking to two people around you who are like friendly or your colleagues, taking a break, having something healthy, filling your stomach time to time, like it should be healthy, not munching, and avoiding extreme amount of caffeine in any forms. And also, like these are certain things that we can do in our work environment. And also uh, getting in touch with the nature, that is one of the most important technique that we can try in order to come out of this stressful thing, stress particularly. And when we are dealing with stress, one most important thing is like walking every day, walking or any kind of physical exercise, that too in nature. If I am doing it inside in a gym, that's well and good, but if you can replace it with a natural environment, then that will be even better.
Absolutely, nature heals.
Yeah.
My last question to you is from one of the members of our Team Mind group. So Jill is asking that how do you identify the thin line between self-care and self-pampering?
Okay. So when we talk about self care, it is consistent and it is productive. If I practice any forms of self care, suppose even if I get engaged in one of my hobby every day for 15 minutes, then definitely I'll gain some mastery. It will be one of the major source of stress reduction for us, and it will enhance my mood. And also it will like help me if I am anytime feeling emotionally dysregulated, or emotionally like somewhere like we feel that emotionally lost sometime. So that can help us even if we engage in any particular hobby. So it should be it is consistent. Basically when we talk about self care, it is consistent and it is productive, and over a period of time it brings us a positive change within us. It is very important. When I'm talking about self pampering is something like that includes a lot of luxury. So that is what I like we see these days over internet. Even I have heard from one or two people when they are saying that self care, ma'am, I cannot go for self care because because I have certain financial issue. So self care does not mean getting luxury products, going to a spa, like going to something somewhere that requires a lot amount of money. So it's not a luxury, but usually people do those and call it as self care. So self pampering is not consistent, and we don't engage in self care activity occasionally. But self pampering is something that when we engage in it like occasionally. And also self pampering is something when we use the term self care and avoid certain responsibilities of us. Like self pampering is something when in order to escape from certain thing, it may be physically need, emotional need, it may be situational, our environmental needs also. When we escape from that thing and use self care as a term, but we do certain thing that we want to do. So there is a difference between want and need. So that is where the difference between self care and self pampering can be found or seen.
Absolutely. Jill, I hope your question is answered. So, if any one of you in the audience has any questions for ma'am, you can put it in the chat box. Till then, ma'am, that was all from my end. Any concluding remarks, whatever you would like to say before we end?
Yeah, definitely. See, like if someone will ask me, self-pampering, you just told, I forgot to add one point. When we are talking about self-pampering, within self-care, self-pampering can be there. Like if I'm doing a lot of care about my physical health and all these things, and some one day or 10 minutes in any, it shouldn't be frequent as I told, but I can spend at least once in a month or something taking care of my skin. Not taking care of my skin in that sense, the regular care is needed, like visiting a particular place, spa, or like just dwelling on activity that makes us feel good, watching something over TV. Because somewhere what happens, there are certain harmful effects of certain self care thing, like binge watching TV, being in the comfort zone for a longer period of time, eating whatever I want because I want to eat. It's a form of self care. No, these are not self care. These are rather self pampering, which in due course of time gives you negative result. So this was something I forgot to add. And when someone asks me self care, so that is something that I do for myself every month, and I wish that everyone should try this once. So it's called as a solo date thing. So once in a month, we should find a day when we can be with ourselves, where we want to go, plan our day accordingly, like taking care of like our daily skincare routine, and taking cooking something good for ourselves, sitting with something that I love to watch, listening some music, practicing certain things that I have not done since a long time, like playing guitar or clicking photos, just going out in the nature and just sitting at a place listening to music, and a whole day, like almost from sunrise to sunset, with yourself only. So like I usually do this every month. I go with myself, I go out for shopping, I go out for with myself with a for a coffee, go to my favorite coffee space, and even if at home I cook my favorite meal, I sit with my good playlist. It's raining outside, sitting at the window pane and eating. So these things, small steps that we take that makes us feel good is also self care. And self care is not luxury. Self care is something that we need to take up because our lives are filled with schedules, to do lists, and everything. So these things are must. And self care is not selfish, because in order to take care of your family, your loved ones, you need to have that energy. You need to have that physical, mental, and emotional well being within you in order to look after others' well being. So you cannot pour from an empty cup. This is what it means. Your cup should be filled with everything and somewhat self care, because you are the one who are role model for your children, to teach them it's enough now. You can also take a break. So we can also take a break. So that is how we have to like take care of ourselves, like like before loving our loved ones or taking care of our loved ones. So that's my end message. And I would also like to thank the entire team and Chaitanya particularly for bringing up something like this, because somewhere the real meaning, as I said, of self care is being like overridden by many like internet eyewash and everything. So maybe if at all it reaches many people, they will come to know what exactly self care means, and they can practice in their daily life without any guilt, and like the and seeing the productive change in it also. So that is what. Thank you so much. Anything
Thank you
else?
so
Any
much.
question you can ask me?
No, I think you were absolutely clear and you shared wonderful thoughts. So there are no questions from the audience. So I think they are all clear about self care. And I'm sure all of us had a wonderful time listening to you. Thank you so much for joining and supporting us always. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for joining. We'll see you soon with another episode. Um, have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Good evening. Bye.
Bye.